Hey guys, on this week's episode, I sit down with Amy Ingle at Sweet Spa Medi Spa down in Fort Myers as we discuss the state of regenerative medicine, also kind of where peptides and biologics go hand in hand with a lot of the capital devices that are out on the market. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Also, remember, this podcast is not intended for medical advice at all whatsoever, just simply perspective from some of the experts. All right, guys, I'm sitting here with Amy Ingle down here in Fort Myers, Florida at Sweet Spot Med Spa. And I am just so excited to be down here with Amy. She has a beautiful practice here, guys. When you walk in, it's very, very warm and comforting, but it's also a place where you feel at home. And I really love those kind of feels in medi spas or med spas. And so, Amy, I'm really excited to be here with you, and thanks for having us and Revive in your practice.
Thank you for coming and visiting.
Yeah. So Amy has a product that we offer called AgeJet, and she's doing very, very well with it. But Amy, let's start off the show with just your story, your background, kind of how you got down here in Fort Myers and opened up this beautiful place.
Yeah, certainly. So I've been a nurse for about 30 years. I moved to Florida, Fort Myers, about 20 years ago, and it has just exploded in Southwest Florida. When I came down, there wasn't a lot of med spas. There was mainly just plastic surgery offices and spas. So I was a nurse and I worked in home health. I opened my own home health agency, became Medicare certified. When I went through that whole process, I knew that, in my next career that I wasn't going to do that. I wanted to work for myself, but I didn't want to have to worry about insurance, and self-pay was kind of the way that I wanted to go. So I went back to school. I got my nurse practitioner, and I decided to open a medical spa because it's cash pay. Your patients come in, they're healthy, they want to be there, and you can make a big difference in their life just by helping boost their self-esteem. So that was something that I looked forward to. After I passed my nursing boards, I decided to open a spa. I took lots of courses. I practiced a lot. It was just me in this little bitty salon suite, and I worked at the hospital at the same time just to kind of get that basic experience of being a nurse practitioner, but also being able to grow my business while I was still able to put bread on the table. So I had my spa for about a year, and it just started taking off. There's probably only about 3 or 4 other med spas in the area. And that was 9 years ago. So since then, the market has just exploded. I ended up opening up a second location in Punta Gorda, which is a little bit north of Fort Myers and south of Sarasota. I saw a need there. And so now I have 2 locations and 12 employees. We're doing very well. Again, it has exploded as far as med spas almost on every corner, it feels like. So the competition has gotten a little dicey. I'm having to do different ways of marketing to bring in that new clientele and to also keep my clientele.
Yeah, and another thing that you're doing is bringing in the latest and greatest technology.
Exactly.
Right. And I always talk about on the show, keeping up with the Joneses, but now it's not just keeping up with the Joneses, it's getting ahead of it. It's getting ahead of kind of, I would say, the trends and kind of things that are going on. And Meryl Lee and a few others and Dr. BBL talked about not just being, part of the trends, finding real medicine and real things that bring you results. And you picked AgeJet. So, that's amazing. When did you know that you were ready to expand?
That's a good question. I would say I knew that I needed to expand when I had clients asking me, could you open a location more north? I would have clients drive like an hour and a half to our spa just to get services because there wasn't anything in their area, and they loved the service that we gave. So that's kind of when I started thinking I need to move north a little bit, open up another location. And so I expanded that way, and it grew very fast. I also knew that I needed to expand here in Fort Myers. I was in a little bitty salon suite, and we were just running out of room. So I found this location that was very close. It was only a mile away, if that. And that was great because then all of my existing clients didn't have to drive farther to get to the spa to get their treatments. And we have a great storefront. You can see our sign from the main road here on 41. I thought that was really important. And we've just really grown since we moved in 2022. We've been in this location. So it's just keeps growing. And the industry is not stopping, as you know. People are wanting treatments. Women especially are coming in earlier in their age. We see 20-year-olds wanting Botox. We have 30-year-olds wanting laser device treatments. I really see a trend, the younger, I think it's the TikTok and the Instagram that's like boosting their curiosity. And that's great because the earlier you start with these treatments, the better off you are when you're older. We see that.
Yeah, preventative maintenance is such a big thing in aesthetics. But
Mm-hmm.
tell us about the experience when somebody comes in to Sweet Spot, right? They come in the door, and if they're greeted by you, I know that they're gonna really enjoy their experience here because of your energy and your excitement and your passion for
Mm-hmm.
aesthetics.
Right.
But tell me about, somebody comes in the door, what are they gonna get?
Yeah, when they come in the door, before they even come in the door, we make sure that they know when their appointment is and where we're located. We send out that touch point on text and email. When they come in, they're greeted at the front door. Zoe, she is amazing customer support. She is always smiling, always helpful. And so you'll be greeted with, I call them my sweet faces. So you'll be greeted with the sweet faces. And we just try to give that special touch to each client, whether you're new or you've been here 10 times. We always greet you and just want you to be part of our family.
That's great. And so somebody's in the room and they're getting a consult. And one of the things that we talk about often is not pushing a single thing on them, right? Really kind of tailor making a 5, 6, 7 step process that's curated to each specific patient. Can you tell us about your process and how you pick what's best or what's right for your clientele or your patients that are coming in?
Right. Yeah. And it's based on a lot of things. How old are they? What are they looking for? Do they want something that's aggressive with downtime, or are they like, no, I'm in the sun all the time. I'm in Southwest Florida. I can't have all that downtime. So there's a lot of factors involved. So you really need to know your client before you start making recommendations. We have a skin analysis machine, which I love because it can really show the deep hyperpigmentation, the skin damage, the lack of collagen. So just by getting that analysis, you can show your client that, look, these are the areas that we need to focus on. And after that consultation, we then describe what we think that would be beneficial for them. We look at a full year plan. We start with the full year, and then we can plan out each month what the needs are. And so it gives the client that that expectation of, okay, I know these things need to be completed in order to get to my goal. So we put it all on a calendar for them. They're aware of the pricing, and there's no surprises. And I think we're just very transparent. And we're not pushy too, because we know everybody has a different type of lifestyle. More people maybe outside or inside, or they have kids and they can't come in every week to get a certain treatment. So we work with them so that works for everybody, every one of our clients.
That's great. So when somebody comes in, what do you think the most asked for thing is when they come into your practice?
Well, by far, they come in for neurotoxins like Botox, Jeuveau, Dysport. And then filler, I'd say, is number 2. They come in, they want a facial balancing treatment. They want filler in their cheeks. I think what, though, a lot of clients don't know is that we can provide skin rejuvenation as far as texture, tone, and tightness. They don't realize that those treatments are here. And that's one of the reasons that I got the Age Jet, because it does all of that. So I really liked that the Age Jet is great for lid treatment. We see so many clients come in, and I'm not talking like 60, 70-year-olds. I'll see 30 and 40-year-olds that have really laxed lids. And they like, my eyes just feel like they're always dropping, or they're not open enough. Or when I put makeup on, my makeup creases in the lid. I don't want to get a blepharoplasty. I don't want surgery. So this was a great alternative to those type of clients.
Yeah, and as everybody knows, just looking at analytics and kind of what the market's calling for right now, you're getting this bump in skin tightening. You're getting this bump in sort of this skin rejuvenation. So it's really in line with all parts of the country and what people are really looking for. So I love to hear that. So let's kind of switch gears and jump into AgeJet, right? And jump into Revive, because at the end of the day, AgeJet is something that you chose, and there's hundreds of plasma devices out there globally that you can choose from. Yet you picked AgeJet. Tell us a little bit about why you chose AgeJet.
Yeah, I had tried AgeJet a couple of years ago. I was at a meet and greet, and there were some trials. Like, you could go in and just get like a little trial on your eyes, and I tried it, and I was like, this is very gentle. Most of my clients don't want downtime. They don't want pain. They don't want all the hassle of those two things. And the AgeJet was so gentle, but yet effective. And I really liked that. So I wasn't in a position to buy another new machine at the time, but that was always in the back of my mind that, this is something I think would work really well for our clientele. And then just recently, I met with your team and talked to them. I got a lot of support from the marketing, Lauren. I mean, everybody's been really great. Just having that support is kind of like the icing on the cake. I already knew it was a great machine. It would work for our practice. It would tighten lids. It would help with pigmentation. It was low downtime, and doesn't hurt. So that's a big one. Our clients don't want to be in pain. They're not going to come back if it hurts. They're not going to get that second treatment or that touch up next year if it hurt. So all of that combined, I'm like, this is a great fit for our spa. It's a great fit for our clientele and a great fit for my providers. They're not having to mess with a cannula. They're not having to work with something that might be difficult. The consumables are very affordable. And so I really thought the whole package was great.
Yeah, and it's a great looking device too. So you get a lot of devices out there, especially the
Looks
plasma
good.
devices.
It's sexy.
It's sexy. There you go. And that the other devices are a little bit bulky. Handpiece looks a little different, but AgeJet's truly a paintbrush, and I've heard people compare it to, being able to sort of paint a picture on whatever area that they're treating. So
that's funny you said that, because when I did my training, I was saying this is like airbrushing. I called it airbrushing, and you're right. It's like painting a picture.
Absolutely. All right. So somebody comes in and they come in for something completely different, like a neurotoxin. At what point do you tell them, hey, I think that you'd be a great candidate for AgeJet. I know you're in here for a neurotoxin, or I know you're in here for something else even. At what point do you look at that person and say, hey, I guess everybody, but at what point do you look and say, hey, AgeJet?
Yeah, it's funny. Over the last 9 years, when I first started, I was very timid to say, hey, you need this or you need that, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. But they come in and they may not know what to ask for. They want our advice. They want us to tell them what they need. And so when I do have someone come in and they say they're just here for neurotoxin, just by looking at their skin tone, texture, laxity, just by looking from top to bottom, there's always something that can be corrected, right? I mean, we live in, again, Southwest Florida. We have so many people with hyperpigmentation, with dark spots on their face. And then just to give that refresh, even if you're 30 or 40 years old, it's nice to just refresh your face with like a great peel. So I just mentioned, hey, by the way, I noticed that you have a couple of spots, probably from driving. You have some hyperpigmentation on your left side. We have something that's amazing that can get rid of that can smooth all that out. You can wear less makeup. You can just go out of the house without having to put foundation on, because your skin's going to look amazing and you're going to feel better. And it's also very good to peel the top layer of your skin. It's for health reasons. There's 1 in 3 people get skin cancer in Florida, and this really helps to kind of cut down some of that hyperpigmentation and that damage.
Right. And there's been sort of this trend over the past, I would say 5-6 years here, where we've had things like Cool Peel, right, and other fractional CO2 devices. Yet plasma has taken really, I would say, a side-by-side seat, and at sometimes, has gone above and beyond what a fractional CO2 device is capable of doing. Can you talk a little bit about the differences that you see in a fractional CO2 device versus something like AgeJet, a plasma device?
Yes, we have a fractional CO2, and we love that. You can only do a treatment once a year, really. I mean, you come in, get a treatment, you have downtime. You're pretty ugly for about 7 days.
And what device is that?
It's the Core.
Okay, Core.
Yes. And so people, when they come in, we always show them pictures of, this is what you're going to look like for the next week. It's an amazing machine. You get great results. This is what you have to endure. And I would say probably 60% of my clients don't want that downtime.
Right.
And that was another reason that we went with the AgeJet. I do still have those clients that love the Core, and they're going to get that every single year. They're going to get their maintenance. I do it. I love the Core. But there is that downtime. So the AgeJet is great because you can do a treatment and you just have a little bit of redness or flaking for a couple of days, but you can still have amazing results. So I would say the results are pretty much the same. It's just the recovery is a little different.
And you can do it more, right?
And you can do it more. So if you get a treatment, you can wait like a couple of months. Like we always suggest about 12 weeks, because that's the completion of collagen and elastin formation. Right. And we'll do before and after pictures, and we'll say, hey, this looks amazing, but you want to go for another one and look even more amazing. And so, my clients are like, yes, let's do it. And the downtime was easy. It wasn't painful. Let's do it.
Yeah. And you talk about, from a business perspective, for, Sweet Spot, that reoccurring revenue is a big deal, right? To have products where people continuously come in, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, 6 weeks, that's great for business. And AgeJet is something that provides that. Then you have sort of these combination treatments, right? And, for us at Revive, we have our Avira platform that goes very, very well with AgeJet. We also have our Color Max platform, or our Frac-Light platform for pigment. And, we have people that are coincidingly using those. Talk a little bit about the full package, right? You can use AgeJet with other things, even skincare products. For us, we have our Age0 biologics that are human stem cell biologics.
I use that.
Yeah. So please talk about.
I love Age0. Yeah. Okay. So we like to do more than one treatment as far as modalities. So, someone comes in and they have hyperpigmentation or skin laxity, the AgeJet's great for that, but there's so much more to the skin than that. So post-care, really important. We have a hyaluronic acid, like moisturizer that we recommend, so they can take that home and use that. And that just helps freshen their skin, moisturize, and keep it healthy and youthful. And then adding microneedling and radio frequency, like you had mentioned, that is a game changer as well. When you mix the two, it's like, an explosion. The face just really does well with that. It not only goes deep, the plasma goes deep and stimulates collagen and elastin, but the microneedling and radio frequency just adds to that, to the texture of the skin, shrinking the pores, and then adding Age0. Wow, that is like, that's probably one of the best packages that we could sell.
The Holy Grail package.
It is the Holy Grail. Yes. Yes. It's not just a mere flesh wound. It's awesome. So, Age0, those are exosomes that are really high quality, and we use that. We do the P shots, O shots, hair. We use that for those treatments. And we like to put it on topically too because it stimulates new, fresh cells. H0 has been known to really help with other things as well, like disease processes. So if you're putting it on your skin, it is really doing the work of what maybe devices can't do. It's more biological.
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, that's the reason why Revive Regenerative was formed, right? I believe, and a lot of other people believe, that just typical medical device, aesthetic devices are kind of going out of style a little bit. There's a niche for them. There's a place for them. They're doing amazing things, but everything progresses technologically. And when you think about using biologics with, the devices that we have, it's totally amplifying everything. And so, personally, I believe that a lot of these companies that are out there that, are just doing one or the other, they're going to fall behind. Right. And so one of the things that we're doing is going after combination therapies and things like that, which, as you said, from the expert, is a very smart thing to do. And I love what you just said right there about the RF energy after using an age jet. The Avira platform, and there's other monopolar RF platforms, because ours has microneedling and the monopolar RF. But the results that we're getting coincidingly with age jet have been phenomenal and unprecedented. So that's great. We love hearing that from somebody that's doing it and somebody that's using these products and ultimately, putting the biologics on the tissue. So let's go to sort of another segment here that I ask experts like yourself, where sort of the state of our industry is going, right? And for us, the name is kind of in the name of our company, Regenerative, right? Revive Regenerative. Now people are talking about regenerative medicine and they're talking about longevity medicine, which I think kind of coincide with each other. But where do you think the state of regenerative medicine is right now, and where do you think it's going?
Yeah, it's not leaving, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's been around for a while. I've been doing regenerative medicine for 8 years. And I've used PRP, I've used A-cell, I've used, exosomes and placenta. I mean, I've used all kinds of treatments. It's just growing, it's just developing. And again, like peptides are huge right now. They're just like blowing up. So I would say, going into the next year, into 3 years, we're just going to see more of it. We're going to see more regenerative medicine, different ways of using it, different ways of harvesting exosomes and platelets and those kind of things. It's not going anywhere, and we're just touching it right now.
Yeah.
We're not even into it completely.
Yeah. And right now, Revive, we're in the middle of some M&A activity. And there's actually a company that we're working with that is doing some pretty cool things when it comes to biologics, that we're actually able to kind of manipulate the DNA and target and, really focus on things like skin type or, things like ethnicity, and kind of put the biologic in a position where it's, on the same playing field as itself, right? And so you're going to see, I think, some really cool things from that perspective, and just being able to unlock certain things that we haven't been able to unlock before in aesthetics, but also in things like wound care, diabetic wound care, and healing in general. Talk to me about peptides. It's the hottest topic in medical right now. Dr. BBL on the show a few weeks ago, I said, tell me about peptides. He said, I'm on all of them. And so, I think that peptides are unlocking some really cool things in the human body. What's your perspective?
I think it's, unlocking for sure. The thing about peptides, though, is I need to see more research. The research isn't quite there yet. Sure. The FDA is really looking hard at it. So I'm kind of just sitting back, just watching and waiting to see kind of where the peptides go. I mean, there's pharmacies are selling them like crazy right now. I'm always getting an email about try out our peptides. We do use GLP-1s here for weight loss, and they work great. As far as the other peptides, I'm just kind of sitting in the back
Yeah.
seat waiting to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's funny. They have every kind of peptide you can possibly imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're seeing them obviously help in weight loss, but we're seeing them help with skin too.
Yeah, the copper.
And other things. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I think that the peptide game will amplify as people get a little bit smarter with them. But I also think that they're going to be something that really helps with a healing and kind of cancer patients that need a little bit of healing after chemotherapy and things like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of where it goes, women's health, men's health, right? We're seeing things like those kind of peptides pop up, recovery for working out and muscle building and even surgeries, right? I've got a good friend of mine that just had surgery on his shoulder, and he's using one of the peptides to recover, and he swears that he's healthy and can start lifting weights again. So it's interesting. Any other takes on just like longevity medicine or anything that you see out there that is helping people?
Again, with peptides, I think it only works if you have a deficiency. Just like
Sure.
with B12 injections and other vitamins, they're not going to make a difference unless you're deficient in it. So, I think like the medicine that is being given to patients today is probably, it might be helping them, but it could be hurting them. And so by adding those peptides or, the regenerative medicine kind of helps scoop up that mess and, help heal those clients, those patients faster, like you said.
Yeah.
As far as regenerative medicine, it's just starting, like we talked about. Stem cells were a really big deal, and then they pulled it from the market, and then you had to fly to Panama to get your treatments. And so they're finding ways to bring stem cells back to the U.S. market in very creative ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're seeing.
It's funny that you brought that up because so I used to play professional ice hockey, and I tore my Achilles playing like ball hockey like 5 or 6 years ago now. And back then, peptides, people weren't really talking about them, but we're talking about PRP, right? And using PRP to heal wounds and obviously heal injuries and things like that. I had surgery on my Achilles quickly. And then right after that, I was looking at different things that I needed to do to heal quicker. And so one of the things was flying down to Argentina to get, PRP in my Achilles. But, it's amazing just in the past 5 years, how far we've come in understanding healing and understanding recovery, right? So it's interesting that you kind of brought that up.
Yeah. So. 7 years ago when I started PRP, I had never even heard of exosomes. I mean, I did maybe in nursing school, right? But in the market, no. Exosomes was not something to talk about. And Wharton's jelly, we use Wharton's jelly a lot as well. I love Wharton's jelly. I think it works really well for healing. That's going to be big as well. It's starting to climb. People are starting to understand what that is. The cells from newborns, age 0.
Absolutely. And you're somebody that's on the forefront of all this stuff because there's a lot of people that haven't sort of unlocked the combination stuff, the combination therapies, but kind of using everything that you're talking about after any kind of procedure, especially when you're creating a controlled injury, you're getting an inflammatory response, right? And you're having blood flow in certain areas that need it, to rejuvenate the tissue and the skin. So what do you want the people to know about you? One thing that people don't know about you that they should know about you?
Well, if we're talking about my spa and me,
anything,
okay. Well, I would say, I think my key, and also that's kind of what I impress on all of my staff, is that when you come here, we treat you naturally. We make you look natural. We don't let you leave out the door with duck lips. We're not going to put 5 syringes in your cheeks. We're not doing that. We are just known for doing things natural, and I always say low and slow, just so that when our clients leave, they don't feel like they're not themselves.
Right.
We want them to feel like themselves, but better.
I love that you
themselves.
just said that, because there's some crazy botches that happen in our industry,
Right.
right? And I think the natural look is kind of what everybody looks to really accomplish, just to amplify or to look younger. And in this day and age, people ask for some very different things, but I love that that's kind of your motto.
Yeah,
here
it is.
What do you want the people to know about when they come into Sweet Spot, how they're going to be treated, the staff? Obviously I'll say a couple things about your practice here in a second, but what do you really want the people to know from the business side of things?
Right. I just want them to know that when they come in as a client, we do everything in our power to try and please our client within reason. And then if they are not happy with the results or the expectation, sometimes their expectations aren't even realistic, right? We try to make the expectations realistic when we do our consultation, and we just work with them. We just want, like I said, we want them to be our family. I have clients that I've had for 9 years. They're still seeing me every like 3 to 4 months, right? I want everyone to feel like they can come in and talk to me anytime, ask me any question, and we can work together so that I can help them meet their goals.
Amazing. Guys, if you're in Florida, in the state of Florida, if you're here in Fort Myers, or if you're in Naples, or even in Tampa, drive here, come see Amy. This practice is unbelievably amazing. It's warm, it's welcoming, but more importantly, you're going to get real results here, right? And I can tell you guys, when you walk into this place, you really truly feel like you're going to be able to accomplish what you want aesthetically. And so, Amy, thank you so much for being on the show. We loved having you. Congratulations on AgeJet, and it's such a great product to have here at your practice.
Yeah, I look forward to using it every day. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Good job.
Yay.